A partnership between the Eastern Cape Department of Education, Tangible Africa and Teachers Union, SAU, has provided teachers with training in tangible coding. Now, tangible coding is a programming language which is similar to a text-based or visual programming language where physical objects are used to represent various programming elements, commands, and flow of control structures. The management manager at Leva Foundation, that's Jackson Tshabalala, joins us for more on this project. Jackson, a pleasure to have you on the show this afternoon. Well, firstly, the introduction of tangible coding to rural Eastern Cape. How do you foresee this initiative impacting the local education landscape? And how does coding address educational challenges?
Thank you so much for that introduction, Nhlanhla. And regarding your question, what we've noticed is that there needs to be a demystifying of coding. When people speak about coding and digital skills, there might be a fear of complexity or need for resources. And we have said in our context in Eastern Cape, especially rural communities, you don't need all the resources or all the difficult jargon when it comes to coding. But it's simply simplifying coding as a list of instructions that tell a computer what to do. And when learners hear that and when teachers hear that, they feel more confident to actually learn about coding and teach digital skills to learners in under-resourced communities. And that's very important since we are living in the fourth, which is becoming the fifth industrial revolution, to get learners ready for skills for a changing world. And I think what that will allow is for learners to learn better and also prepare them for the future marketplace better as well. So that's how we see it impacting our region.
From what I've gathered, Jackson, the training really aims to establish a coding and robotics hub. From your perspective, what challenges or even opportunities does this bring, and how can it bridge the digital divide, especially in rural communities?
Perfect. I'll start with the challenges. I think the challenges that we've had, of course, I don't want to overemphasize the lack of resources, but there's also a lack of awareness in those communities where people usually follow the traditional career pathways such as medicine, engineering, business, law, which are great pathways, but there's such a demand for computer software developers in the country, and there are many companies that are willing to hire graduates of software development, and there's a high youth unemployment rate as well in South Africa. So there's a demand for workers, but people don't have the skills. So some of the challenges are resources, some of the challenges are awareness, information about skills for a changing world, and also we really work with unplugged coding, offline coding, we call it tangible coding. And the idea is for us to reach schools without the use of internet, without the use of computers, without the use of connectivity in teaching computational thinking. And sometimes that might not be a popular approach because some people might just want to see a computer for coding. And we're saying you actually don't need that, so there doesn't need to be that delay. The opportunities that exist is that there's no need to wait for resources. We can impact those communities today. And we've been speaking with the Department of Education in the Eastern Cape and teachers' unions who have actually embraced our project and have seen the benefit of the work that we've been doing. And we've partnered with some teachers' unions across the Eastern Cape, across the country, to train teachers. And those teachers now, they can either teach coding and be competent in teaching, or we can find young people in their communities to start coding clubs that can create entrepreneurship opportunities for them as well, or skills that can allow them to work online and remote opportunities on different platforms. So those are the opportunities that exist, an easier way for teachers to teach learners coding and for young local people to pursue entrepreneurship or economic or income earning opportunities.
But in areas with limited computer access or even data coverage, how is the program made accessible?
So I think I have to define what it is we do. We have our flagship project called, our flagship game called Rangers, and we teach coding by having a mobile app that doesn't need internet or cellular network to work, as long as it's on a phone, a low-cost mobile device. The app is a game that gets a ranger to catch a poacher before the poacher gets to the rhino. So you have a vehicle that is supposed to move to a predetermined location to catch the poacher.
Right.
How then the code is assembled is we have physical, tangible tokens that have instructions on them. So left, right, forward, backward, capture, action, etc. The learners assemble these tokens. So they're using physical tokens, and in the assembly, they're actually setting up a code. And they use nested loops, they use while statements, they use if statements in order to achieve or execute the level that they're at in order for the ranger to catch the poacher. So they assemble the code, they take a picture, they have QR codes on it, it scans and reads with the app. If you say, oh yes, this is the correct code, you press yes, it executes, and then you go to the next level. So it's a game that you can, and that's why learners enjoy it so much. It captures their imagination, they're having fun. And it's a game that teaches computational thinking skills, coding skills, etc. I hope that makes sense. So it doesn't need a computer. You just need a low-cost mobile phone, some tangible tokens, and you're ready to go in any community.
And what better way to catch a child's attention than through a game? But let's also explain,
Exactly.
Jackson, what long-term benefits can we anticipate from such a program?
So the long-term benefits, we already have some stories. I think it's always great to speak about the numbers we've reached, but it's nice to identify some people. And Nhlanhla is one of the people who's come through our program. He's finished matric last year, and he will be a first-year student at Nelson Mandela University this year doing computer sciences. But we've been on a journey with him since he was in grade 7. And he got introduced to coding through our game. He really enjoyed it and decided to do better in his school marks. Because our academies, we also have tangible academies that teach extra mathematics, and in areas such as STOMA, we also teach English. So those learners from an early age, they have the advantage of having tutoring to improve their marks. Once they have a good enough mark to go to computer sciences at NMU, Nhlanhla from Nigel and Fort Jobson has received a full-on bursary to go study computer sciences. So once he completes that computer sciences course, it will be way easier for him to get into the workplace or the marketplace. And that is an entire family trajectory changed because of the opportunity given to him through this course. We've had our tangible 3, which is Rehana, Sean, and Norman. Young learners in grade 7, they showed a lot of computational thinking talent. And we said, how could we support them to go to a good school that can give them good computer education from grade 8? And Dave Brown from Amazon, he's a VP of Amazon, was willing to support them, and they have full bursaries now to go through high school, learn good computer skills, and then be able to join the economy. And that is really the benefit. Our pipeline is, our plan is how do we get people in the economic pipeline? So, and also developing, of course, the country, developing the continent, and innovation coming from Africa that can impact the world. And that's what we really want to build with these young people, and that changes the African narrative.
It's really phenomenal. Just listening to you, it brought a thought to my mind about the soft skills. These are crucial for job acquisition, especially for entrepreneurs. How, in your experience, can the blend of technical and soft skills through innovative education models such as yours empower learners and also address some of these societal challenges?
Great. So one of the things that we encourage is actually part of our project. Learners have to work in teams. So the game is a set of teams that actually try to complete the levels. So when it comes to our Mandela Day tournaments, that's our annual flagship tournament, you have schools from all over the country and all over the continent and even in Europe competing against other schools, and that team dynamic soft skill is so important for the workplace. How do you communicate with people? How do you solve complex problems, etc., etc.? So we have found that in this game, the soft skills that they learn, such as problem solving, such as leadership, such as reasoning, allows them to get into any kind of situation and be able to navigate through it. And the world is becoming more digital, more artificial intelligence, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that can be automated. But the personal interactions are very crucial. So those soft skills of emotional intelligence is crucial to things like anti-bullying and making sure that they don't get sucked up in social media, or that when they enter the workplace, the anxiety that comes with being in a new environment doesn't take them over. So the soft skills are crucial for 21st century workplace. And this game doesn't only teach the technical part, but because of the collaboration, communication, and creative thinking, it allows learners to expand their minds, even in other fields. We've seen learners who've participated in this game do better in other school subjects as well, just because of how they start thinking, and they do better in relationships, and they break out of their shells because of the soft skills.
Jackson, before I let you go, let's discuss the importance of synergy between the public and private sectors in enhancing education. How can businesses actively contribute their resources, their skills, and even innovation to support educational initiatives like Tangible Africa, particularly in areas with limited resources?
So one of our main partners, which is AWS and Communities, has really helped us expand our reach. Brendan Cannon, and they based in Dublin, they've said, can you impact schools, can you impact learners? And we've said, yes, we can, but we need a vehicle and people to support us with resources. So with the support of AWS and Communities and Amazon and other generous partners, we've been able as a non-profit to reach 100,000 learners and train over 30,000 teachers across the world with this program of ours. We've expanded into all of South Africa, in Kenya, Ghana, Uganda, Tanzania, even going to Finland, Germany, Dublin, and the UK. And the reason that is possible is because of the sponsorship and the partnership that we have with these private and public organizations. Even with the trade unions, working with SATU, SAU, and NATU trade unions have really allowed us to impact more teachers. And they've also taught us a little bit about how do you facilitate a training program for teachers and education professionals. So it's not just the financial resources that help us, but also the technical skills that they have, the experiences that they have, and the relationships and the connections that they've allowed us to collaborate with is very crucial. And the benefits they get is that we are preparing their workforce of the future. So these young people will one day be people who contribute to the economy. So the better we can prepare them, the better that is for corporates, the better that is for government, and the better that is for society at large. So for any organization, corporate or government institution, willing to partner with us and willing to partner with other educational institutions, it's very crucial to understand that this is long-term thinking. We are reaching 15, 16, 17-year-olds who will one day be the future leaders and shapers of our continent.
Jackson, as we wrap up our conversation and also reflecting on your personal journey, how has education transformed your life, and how can individuals and organizations contribute to rewriting Africa's narrative through educational opportunity?
That is a great closing question. So my educational journey is very significant to me, and I'm sentimental about it, because from grade 9, my family went through a difficult financial time, and my school was willing to pay and funded my education from grade 9 to matric at Linkside High School. And then my mother's company at the time when I got to university gave me a bursary for my undergrad at Nelson Mandela University. And then Leva Foundation, the organization I work for, with Henley Business School, with their MBA program, paid for my postgraduate diploma and my MBA that I'm currently pursuing at Henley Business School. That kind of support has allowed me to sit here today in front of you and speak about these things that we're doing to change the African narrative. And changing the African narrative starts with impacting the individual. My life was impacted, and I've seen many other people's lives impacted. And the desire once your life is impacted is to pay it forward. And now we've seen how African organizations, how African individuals have been investing into the lives of young people and shifting the narrative of Africa being a consumer of innovation or being a recipient of charity to Africans really investing in other people's lives, being charitable, and also being an innovator instead of just receiving innovation. So organizations that have that kind of thinking, it's very important for us to no longer be the ones, even our President, Cyril Ramaphosa, speaking to world leaders, say, we're not the beggars anymore, but we are equal partners and contributors to this global ecosystem we live in. And that's how we change the African narrative, by impacting one life that will multiply and advance the entire continent. And the benefit or the improvement of Africa really is the improvement of the whole world. And that's what we need to realize. So international partners and local partners really need to step up and really work hard at developing this continent.